Hello everyone, welcome back to Coin Bureau Clips. It is time for another Q&A. As you can see, it's just me today. Nick is busy with meetings, etc. and Jessica is unfortunately not feeling very well at the moment. So just me, sorry about that. But thanks as ever for sending in your questions via Instagram. We've picked out a few for me to go through and answer now. So let's get stuck in, shall we? Okay. First one is a really burning question. I'm sure you're all wondering this. And Gary Reed Music is just the one who's managed to articulate it. He asks, "Can you knit?" No. You'll be amazed to hear, Gary, that no, I can't knit. What a random question. Well, I love it. No, I can't knit. Do I look like the sort of person who could knit? I don't know. No, maybe that's a hobby I'll take up at some point later in life when crypto's sort of calmed down a bit. Okay, all right, let's move on. Belgian Fit Coach, great name. Will BTC crash because of the FTX thing? This is a question that would have been perhaps even more relevant this time last year. No, I don't think so. I think FTX still has a lot of assets which are going to be sold eventually as part of its bankruptcy process. There is still perhaps a lot of information, a lot of stuff still to come out of FTX. But I think really BTC and the rest of the crypto market has managed to weather this pretty well. So even though I think there is still some selling to come, I don't think FTX is the big, massive black hole, the big risk that it was. And I think that's one of the things that just shows how resilient crypto is, that it managed to get past that FTX catastrophe. And basically, especially Bitcoin has been up only this year. So it's been a pretty impressive recovery. Okay, James Q1 asks, how can I get a hardware wallet to store my assets? James, that's great to hear. That you're going in on self-custody. Very good. Okay, there are a number of hardware wallets out there. You've got your likes of Trezor and Ledger, which are the sort of big ones in the market. I know Trezor have just released a new device, the Trezor Safe. Ledger also have some pretty good devices out there as well. You've also got options like the Engrave, which is a bit more expensive, but has got some really, really revolutionary tech in it. And there are others as well. There are things like Tangem, which are slightly different. Tangem doesn't use a sort of device. It uses these kind of plastic cards. So there are quite a few options out there. So have a look, do a bit of research into which ones would be right for you. Obviously, a lot of it depends on what particular assets you hold. If you just hold the likes of BTC and ETH, then pretty much any of those brands are good for you. If you've got slightly more specialized altcoins in there, then you might want to do a bit of digging and see, check that the wallet you're looking for can hold some or most of those altcoins. And then we have some videos on our main channel about the best hardware wallets, so that can help you in your research. So do check those out. And then finally, once you've decided which one it is you want to get, go to the Coin Bureau deals page, and we have some links there, and you can get some discounts on particular hardware wallets by doing that as well. But the main thing is that you're getting a hardware wallet, and what I should also say is that when you're buying a hardware wallet, whether you're doing it through the deals page or through anything else, you should always buy directly from the manufacturer. So don't go to Amazon, certainly don't go to eBay or anything like that. Go to the website of the manufacturer in question, so Ledger's website, Trezor's website, Engrave's website, whatever it is. Check that it's the official one and buy through that. I won't go into the reasons why you should do that, just know that it's the safest thing to do. Okay, thanks for that question. And yep, everyone, if you haven't got your hardware wallet yet, what are you waiting for? Okay, Anna Paula Sains asks, what happens if Bitcoin hits $1.5 million? Well, gosh, I don't know. A bonanza, I would expect. You can imagine that a lot of people will get extremely, extremely wealthy. What I should say, I imagine that if you see Bitcoin going to $1.5 million anytime soon, that probably suggests something else is deeply wrong in the economy somewhere. You might remember that Bitcoin pumped a lot earlier this year when the banking crisis in the US was going on. A $1.5 million Bitcoin suggests that you might see something like that on steroids. So I'm not necessarily sure that's something we should wish for in the short term. But gosh, yeah, I mean, I think the world would go pretty nuts. I think dealers in luxury goods would be doing a roaring trade if Bitcoin went to $1.5 million. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, perhaps somewhere far in the future. It also suggests that maybe inflation would be running really hot as well. But certainly would be an interesting one, that's for sure. Sorry to interrupt you folks, but I have to let you know about the Coin Bureau deals page. Now, my team and I have been able to pull together some of the best promos and discounts in the crypto space. We're talking trading fee discounts of over 50%, thousands of dollars in bonus airdrops, amazing deals at top exchanges, reduced prices on hardware wallets, and much, much more besides. So just go to coinbureau.com/deals, also linked to below, and find the promo suited to you. Enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, Lattes and Lit asks, why do you hold Atom? Well, I hold Atom because I am a big fan of Cosmos. I think despite its issues, it's an amazing project. The tech is amazing. And well, we've recently seen this interesting proposal from Jae Kwon, who's one of the original founders of Cosmos, to actually fork the Cosmos chain. That would be an interesting one. But yeah, I hold Atom because I think Cosmos is great. I think its ecosystem is amazing and is growing really well. Some fascinating projects in there. Generally, when you're looking at a project like Cosmos, if you hold the coin itself, then you probably won't see the sort of gains that you might see if you held individual projects within its ecosystem. But obviously, it's kind of harder to pick those individual projects out. So yeah, I like to hold Atom because I'm bullish on Cosmos in general. I know it won't see the sort of same massive gains as some other altcoins out there, but I'm fine with that because I think Cosmos is great. Okay, Adam0607 asks, PYTH, or PYTH, some people might say it, or Link, which one is better? So this is... Suddenly, we have some real competition in the Oracle space. Chainlink is obviously the big leader in that and has been for forever, really. But now we have PYTH Network, which has recently released. You might recall they were doing an airdrop for that pretty recently. A lot of people, I think, did quite well out of that. So it's too early to say which one is better. Chainlink, like I say, has been around for a very long time. It's pretty proven and has seen a lot of upgrades recently. Link has been doing very well. So we're going to have to dig into PYTH a bit more, but it certainly seems to be a contender. I think Nick and I might have been talking about it last week or the week before. I think PYTH benefits from extremely low latency, so it's updated. Its Oracle data is updated a lot more frequently, perhaps, than Link, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's better. But certainly PYTH does seem to be emerging as the main Chainlink competitor, so we will dig into it, most likely on Coin Bureau Club at some point. Okay, Juris Enviter asks, will Coin Bureau Club get an app? Oh, that was a neat segue, wasn't it? Yes, it is something that's on the roadmap. We've been speaking to our tech team about building an app. Building an app, as you can imagine, is not easy or cheap. So it's something that we're not going to do right now, but it is something that we're talking about and looking at for the future because, well, that would just give us so many possibilities, and there's so much that we want to do in that kind of direction in the future. So yeah, it's something that we're talking about. Massimiliano Milago asks, it's 2025, you made a very good amount of money in the Bullrun. How would you invest this money? Okay, good question. One of the things I would say is being a man of a certain age, i.e. over 40, I no longer have any sort of desire to spend money on stupid stuff like fast cars and fancy clothes, as you can probably tell, and basically just frittering it away. So if or when hopefully I make some good money in the bull run, I will be looking to, invest is absolutely the word. So probably I will invest some of those profits back into crypto, long-term holds, things like Bitcoin and ETH. But also I would seek to diversify a bit as well. I, for one, am a big fan of property. I think real estate is a good investment. Obviously, it depends where that real estate is. But being British, that's something that's very close to my heart. So I would probably invest it in some more property because you can, for one thing, you can live in it. And for another thing, it can generate an income for you as well. I think I would also look into gold as well. I know Bitcoin is generally better than gold, but I think it's good to diversify. I may look to do that by tokenized gold. I'm not sure holding physical gold is really the best solution, but tokenized gold, things like PAXG or Tether has a gold-backed stablecoin as well. That is something I might look into as well. But yes, any profits that you take from the bull run, you should definitely be looking to invest them. Now, obviously, I can't give you financial advice, but if you spend all that money on wine, women and song and fast cars, then it's all gone. And you won't be able to do anything with it in the future. So bear that in mind. Think like an old person. Okay, Cat Quantum asks, I think Cat Quantum has been a questioner before. Welcome back. Will BTC hit all-time high on the next bull run, in your opinion? Yes, in my opinion, I think probably the next bull run will see a new all-time high for Bitcoin. I think now that we look like we're going to have ETFs, spot ETFs as well, I think it's very hard to argue against an all-time high for the next bull run. What could that all-time high be? We could see it around 100K. I think that's reasonable. You'll see a lot of price predictions in that direction. I've got a hunch that it might not get all the way to 100K this bull run. I think it might peter out a little bit before that, but that's the difficulty with making price predictions. You're almost certainly going to be wrong. But yes, I think a new all-time high is likely. When exactly that could be? Late 2024, it could be more realistically in 2025 at some point. But yeah, all-time highs, I think, are ahead of us. And this is the final one. VEE asks, is crypto mass adoption defined by cash inflow or by real crypto usage per person? That's a good question. Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to imagine that mass adoption is a sort of code word, is a code phrase for number go up. And suddenly everyone is plowing money into crypto. It just means more investors. That I don't think is true. Mass adoption, yes, it does mean that crypto is being used. And this is one of the reasons why we often go on about, is there a use case for a particular cryptocurrency? Unfortunately, the vast majority of cryptos don't really have a viable use case, or they might claim to, but either it's not really viable or there's too much competition or whatever it is. So yeah, mass adoption, as I see it, is people using crypto. So it could be people using crypto for payments, which happens in lots of parts of the world at the moment. It could be people actually using blockchains more. It could be people using DeFi protocols to get loans or to lend money out, or whatever it may be. So yeah, that is what mass adoption looks like. It's crypto actually being used, actually fulfilling these use cases. Blockchains being, actually having a purpose and moving beyond this idea of, crypto's just, a speculative investment. And I think we will get there in the future. It could still be a long way off, but you only need to look to certain parts of the world where crypto adoption is really, really high. People are using it, first and foremost, to transfer value or to protect their money against rampant inflation. And that is something that I think is only going to grow. And again, you can look to Bitcoin as an example. I think more and more people, as Bitcoin matures, as the crypto market matures, I think in time, BTC will become a lot less volatile, and I think we will see progressively more and more people choosing to store their wealth in that way to protect themselves against things like inflation, which are unfortunately a fact of life for many people across the world. So yeah, mass adoption is not everyone piling in speculatively, it is crypto being used around the world. How far away is that? I'm not sure, probably still a few years, but we're getting there. Okay, that's it for today, folks. I've kept it nice and short for you so you can go and get on with your lives and not have to listen to me just basically talking to myself. So thanks for joining. Thanks for your questions as ever. Keep sending them in and we will keep trying to answer them. I will be back again soon. Who will be joining me? Who knows? It'll be a surprise. All right. Thanks. See you soon. Like and subscribe.